G'day, welcome to the show. Salt Covers back. Finally got ourselves a winning night. Yes, that's right. Going 4-2-1 on the night. Good for 2.6 units up. We got a lot of action down after the show. I feel like it's going to be one of those shows again where we aren't coming into this show with much action on the board, but we certainly tweet out some live bets afterwards. So make sure you go follow me up just above me at Salt Covers. Get these bets as I place them. Like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment. Happy to argue with you about any of my picks. More than happy to do that. We love doing that here. First, we took the Cavs minus 10.5 yesterday. They were outright losers against the Magic. Magic finally getting a good win. They've been playing a bit better recently. They have been covering games recently, so good for them. We cashed on the over Sixers in Dallas. Sixers, 5 games in a row now, including today's game. They just continue to catch over steam. We don't even care what it looks like. We're certainly not going to be watching these games, but they take over steam. We're happy to get in on that early, so we cashed on that. Next, we tried to play a middle on the Blazers and Raptors, where we had 3 units down on the Blazers -5, and then 1.5 units up on the Raptors +7. The Blazers end up winning by about 3 or 4 points, so just missed out on that middle. The Raptors were winning that entire game. Then they turn the tank on and Blazers win. Blazers playing again today. Our favorite bet of the day, though, was that OKC spread. We were on the right side of that spread. That game closed at 5.5. That was a very sweat-free bet. We do like fading the Bucks against these good teams. If you want to hear more about that, go listen to the previous episode. The Bucks just are not good against top 10 teams. We ended up taking my Clippers, -12. Big spread, big home spread against the Hornets. Clippers end up covering that one by 30. Clippers seem to be playing a lot better recently besides that Pelicans loss. Now, in the show, we took the under 222, but we saw Circa move that line from 221 to 223. We had a bet with Bet365 who offer no VIG cash outs, so we ended up cashing out that bet for full value. That pick would have cashed, so don't like to see that, but also don't like to go against the market. So overall, a good day. Let's get into it. We've got, how many games we got? I think we got 10 games on the slate today. Let's get that record up. Let's get the Bet365 up. No, that is not Bet365. There we go. Let's fix this up. First game we got is the Heat in New York playing the Knicks.
One pair of pants later.
Okay, we are back. Heat in New York. These teams did play about 2 weeks ago where the Heat, they raced out to a 20-point lead. Knicks end up coming back, forcing overtime. Heat ended up covering. This is just the ultimate buy low spot for the Heat. Projections got this at Knicks -7. Spread opened at 7.5. We see Circa at 8. We see Bookmaker at 7.5. Cheap 7.5 as well. So yeah, like I said, this is a buy low spot on the Heat. Knicks coming off a 5-game road trip. First game at home. That is a fade spot for the Knicks. Still without Brunson. This line is kind of begging you to take the Knicks, though. I am looking to take the Heat. I do not feel great about it, and I have not bet them yet. What I'm waiting for is to see some movement towards the Heat. We saw Circa open at 7.5, now at 8, so I haven't played the Heat yet, but this is one of those games where I'm happy to take a Heat +7, maybe sprinkle a bit on the money line if the market shows me. Happy to pay for it with a worse number, getting that information. Looking at the total, we saw Circa open this at 213, and we saw them move it 3 points down to 210. So someone just went down and laid a big bet on the under. I certainly agree with that. No Brunson. Heat coming off I think they lost by 30 against the Grizzlies. Just got destroyed. Like, they've lost 5 straight. Lost to the Bulls, lost to the Hornets. Like, just some bad losses. So, yeah, look out for my Twitter. Looking to play the Heat here. Definitely not taking the Knicks. Let's move on. Lots of games. And we have the Sixers and Rockets. And this is going to be a theme throughout this episode. I was late to seeing some of these early lines, and here we saw another low Sixers total. Yeah, let's get straight into the total. We saw another low Sixers total. And yeah, this is now the 5th straight game where they've just taken over steam, now at 222.5. Projections did like the over. Sixers are an over team. There are 2 pace down teams. So now at 222, definitely not worth playing into. The spread, it's a 15-point spread. Projections do like the Rockets. We saw it open at 13. Nothing from me here on this game. Bit of a gross game. Let's just get that off my screen. Next, we have the Pacers and Timberwolves. Siakam is out. Halliburton is questionable. Turner is questionable. We saw this game open at Minnesota minus 3.5. So that projections got this at 7, and that's accounting for Halliburton and Turner and Siakam, who have all been really healthy this year. Now at 7.5, my only angle here is if Halliburton gets ruled in, then you can get a better number on the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been playing really well lately. Looking at the total, this is another total we've seen move quite a bit. We saw it open at 231, now at 228.5. This one's an interesting move because the Pacers' defense has been a lot better with Siakam on the floor, about 13 points per 100 possessions better with Siakam on the floor. He's a good switch defender. Can play 1 through 4, 1 through 5 on defense. But then again, the Pacers they love to attack the rim. They're like one of the top 3 or 5 teams in terms of rim shot frequency. So going against the Timberwolves, Gobert in, he's going to stop all that. Nothing from me here at current numbers. Pistons and Pelicans. Pistons coming off a 2-game losing streak, where they lost to the Thunder and they lost to the Wizards. Pelicans, they've lost quite a few in a row now. They lost to the Spurs. They beat the Clippers. They lost to the Magic. Projections got this at 8, almost 9 points. We saw this game open at Pistons minus 6. We know the Pistons, great team to back after a loss. They are 19-10 against the spread after a loss. They are 9-3 against the spread after 2 straight losses. So, you know what that means? We took a Pistons minus 6, got that down for 3 units, now at minus 7. We like that ticket. I still think the 7 is playable. If you can get 6.5, even better, but we see Circa at, what are they at? 7. So, yeah, if you can find a 6.5, great. If not, 7 still playable, in my opinion. Total hasn't really moved much. Pistons are a pace-up team recently, been like top 5 in pace last 15 games. I can't get a good read on these Pelicans totals. Like, in the past, they've been a pace-up team. They certainly are an over team. We see Circa's at 233. So a bit of movement over. You know the Pistons are going to want to play better defense now that they've lost 2 straight. Really trying to get that 4 seed closely tied with the Pacers and the Bucks. Nothing from me on the total, but go back to Pistons if you can get them. 6.5 or 7, both fine. Next we have the Spurs and the Lakers. I got to scroll down a bit. Spurs and Lakers. That's still at 8.5. Yes, it is. Interesting. So we saw the spread open at the rec books at 10.5. We saw the sharp books open at 9. Projections at Lakers minus 11.5. Lakers in a back-to-back, no travel. Like this line is just begging you to take the Lakers. We stayed off the Lakers last game, even though projections loved them. We saw the sharper books move towards the Suns. That game wasn't even close. Bron, Rui still out. This is a big number for a Lakers team. Like, they're just concerned with winning games. They don't really care how it's done. I could easily see the Lakers winning by 7 or 8 this game. Bron, Rui still out. Looking at the market closely for this one, if I see any movement off the 9, I'll try to pick off this 8.5. Yeah, another total that we were just completely late on. We saw this open at 224, maybe even I saw some 222s as well. Now at 229, projections like the over. Now Spurs, like they went way over against the Hornets without Fox. How did they go against the Pelicans? I think that game went under actually against the Pelicans. Like, my subjective view is that I don't really want to back Spurs overs when they're starting Chris Paul at point guard. Like, CP3 just loves to pound the rock, pound. Yeah, that Pelican Spurs game finished at 234. I think that game closed at like 237. So that game went under. We got top 10 over team, Lakers pace down team, and an under team. So here I'm just looking towards the Lakers. Haven't played them yet. Does Luka sit out this game? I don't think he will. Next we have the Bulls and the Jazz. Bulls starting to get some market respect. They've gone 10-2 in the last 12 against the spread. They've just been covering machine lately. Now, since the All-Star break, I've generally steered clear against the Bulls, but we have lost twice playing the Heat against them. We played the Rockets against them as well, so definitely not backing the Bulls in this spot. 5.5 point favorites. We saw that's where the sharp books open. We saw the rec books open at 4.5. Hasn't moved. My angle here is if the Jazz end up sitting Lowry, Markkanen, I'd assume John Collins and Clarkson are out, but if they sit like the rest of their starters and this gets out to like Bulls -7, -8, then you can look to get in on the Jazz. That's the spot where the Jazz really do cover spreads, is where they sit their team, get a better number, and you have guys that are playing for their NBA lives in that game. Definitely some guys that Chuck, like he would not be able to get if he was playing who he played for. Total open at 238.5, now at 240. Sharp books at 240.5. Going back to the Lakers line, we see Bookmaker, which is a sharp book. They're at -9, but it's almost plus money. So a bit of movement there towards the Spurs. I do not agree with that, but that's something to keep in mind. Let's get this game off my screen. We see another sharp book moving to 8.5. Interesting, yeah. Not playing that then. Denver Nuggets and Golden State. Very interesting spread movement in this one. So Denver coming off a loss against the Wizards. You know you want to back teams that lose to the Wizards. Jokic, Gordon, and Murray are questionable. So is Curry. This is Denver's third game in 4 nights. They played 2 home games, 1 day off, now traveling to San Francisco. So I bet this game super early. I saw that there was a Warriors -2.5, and I saw there was a Denver +4.5. I picked off the Denver +4.5, hoping to get a middle on it, and then I missed the 2.5. So now we've got 4 units on Denver +4.5. Now, my read on the injury situation. I expect Jokic to play. He's carried the questionable tag in quite a few games since the All-Star break. He's been like a late ruled in to all of these games. He hasn't sat out one yet, even with like this lingering ankle and elbow injury. I'd say Gordon probably sits. Murray, not really sure. Now Curry, he has sat out quite a few back-to-backs this season. They are in a back-to-back, or this is game one of a back-to-back. They're playing the Bucks the following night. I fully expect Curry to sit out one of these games. He's been playing really well, but he's also old, and the Warriors just want to get Curry healthy to the playoffs. He did tweak his back late in that next game. Warriors have had a pretty easy schedule since acquiring Jimmy Butler. This is by far the best team that they'll be playing. Get right spot for Denver. I do like the Nuggets here, plus 4.5. Another good thing going towards the Nuggets is that the sharp books opened this at Warriors -5. They since have moved it back to -4.5. So I'd like to see that. Would I play 4 units on it? No, I'd play 2 units on it for sure. We do see this spread at projected line at Warriors -6. I'm happy to fade the projections on this. We've just seen the whole board move to Lakers -8.5. That's very interesting. Total, another spot that's seen some movement towards the under. We saw this open at 239. We saw the sharp books open at 236. That's completely understand that given the injury risk. Curry, Jokic, probably 2 of the best over players in the league. Nothing from me here on the total. Definitely like the Nuggets though in this spot. Good get right spot for them. Expect Jokic to play. Warriors just do not have a good matchup for Jokic. Raptors and the Suns. It's quite hilarious what this Raptors team are doing. Let's get this up on my screen. Very, very funny what the Raptors are doing. And this spread might have just moved to snap. So I've just seen Circa move this line to -9 for the Suns. Both teams enter this in a back-to-back. Suns, both teams in travel spots. Both teams lost. Suns just got destroyed against the Lakers. Another video popping up with KD and Bud getting into it. Yeah, look, projections love the Raptors in this game, but you gotta throw that projected line out the window when they're playing Scotty Barnes 24 minutes, when Quickly and RJ Barrett are questionable. Suns, do you realize the market's just moved towards the Suns? Do you want to lay 9 points with the Suns? Absolutely not. The real move here, which is another one that I was just late on. We had this total open at 234.5, and now it's at 227. Projections like the under. We did not play it. Very sad to see. We've missed out on some very good lines, but that's alright. I've got nothing on this game. If you bet the Raptors, definitely lean the Raptors, but I can't do it. I can't do it, man. Next, we have the Grizzlies and Kings. This game opened at Grizzlies -1.5, then Jar got ruled out. Sabonis is in, even though he tweaked his hamstring in that Suns game. Kings lost 4 straight games. You'd think this is a get-right spot for them. I watched quite a bit of the game against the... I watched the game against the Knicks closely, against the Clippers, against the Warriors and the Suns, and they just do not look good lately. Grizzlies have been covering much lately, but they have started to get some wins. They've won 5 out of their last 6. They just destroyed the Heat. We see this projected line at Pick'em. Now at Grizzlies +2.5. I do like the Grizzlies in this game, but it's another one where I'm just waiting to see that market push back towards the Grizzlies. We saw the sharp books open at Kings -2.5. It is still there. Um, yeah, this Grizzlies team, like they don't skip a beat without Jar. Like they do not skip a beat without him. Jar seems like a bit of an asshole. I wouldn't be surprised if some players on the team just don't really like him as well. Yeah, another total open at 245. Now we see it at 237.5. I get that, like the Kings have, like their pace has slowed down quite a bit since Levine's entered the lineup. They're definitely not a pace up team. You do have Grizzlies, still #1 pace team, still one of the best over teams in the league. I have nothing on this game as of yet, but check my Twitter. I may play the Grizzlies if I see some market movement. At 2, I'd just play the money line, honestly. Who have we got next? No, we've got one more game. Oh, this is tomorrow's game. If we really want to handicap the Hornets and Hawks game, there you go, but it doesn't even have lines you can match it against. We've got one more game, and that is the Washington Wizards versus the Portland Trailblazers. Wizards coming off the upset of the year, beating the Nuggets as like 12-point underdogs. We have the Blazers in a back-to-back spot. They barely came out alive against the Raptors. They were down that whole game. The Raptors just let them win. We saw this line open at 5. Now 5.5. Some sharper books also at 6. Still at 5.5 at Bet365. Bet365 was holding a 4.5, and I just missed that. So projections do like the Blazers -10 in this game. This is also a prime letdown spot for the Wizards. They just got the best win of their season. So yeah, we have played a Portland -5.5. Got that down for 1.5 units. Yeah, I wish I would have gone that 4.5, but 5.5, fine by me. We'll take that. And this is still available. Projections also like the under as well. Do I love betting into a Wizards under after they've just won? Not really. They are 10-4 to the over after a win. Under is 8-3 for the Blazers with no rest. But look, I will play the under if I see the market move towards the under. Haven't played it as of yet. So in terms of action that I've got on this slate, not a whole lot at the moment. So let's get the odds screen off. Just 3 bets on the card today. We have the Pistons -6 at the Pelicans. Love that ticket. Now it's 7s across the board. So if you pick up a 6.5, that's fine. 7, yeah, sure. 7's the max number I'd play it at. Wouldn't play it at 7.5. We also have the Nuggets +4.5 at Golden State. Got that down for 4 units. Now, part of the reason I went so big on that was because I thought I was going to get a middle. I missed out on the middle, so now I've just got 4 units laid on the Nuggets. I definitely that's the side for me. I expect Jokic to play. Every time he's been questionable since the All-Star break, he has gone on to play. He's been questionable, I think, around 3 or 4 times. We also like the Blazers -5.5. Got that down for 1.5 units. That one is still available. So are the Nuggets. Pistons -7 if you can. Let's make this one another winner. We've just seen Bookmaker move this to Kings -3, so that's very interesting. I was hoping they would move towards the Grizzlies. That's the side I like. We keep an eye on my Twitter for that. Until next time, guys.